Regular physical activity can help children learn more and help improve their mental health. I prepared this information first as a letter in 2015, at the request of parents, to support their requesting to school teams to start physical activity programs for their children at their schools. Increasing the amount of physical activity performed by our children may be one of the best strategies to increase their academic performance and the well-being of school children. Studies indicate that when children exercise every day at school in the mornings, there is a dramatic decrease in the level of aggression, up to 95% in some cases, and significant improvements in the child's attention span and improvements in school attendance. Studies also indicate that physical activity can help improve our moods and decrease the likelihood of we developing memory problems in old age. Physical activity can also contribute to weight loss with its associated health benefits, which include lower risk of developing diabetes mellitus type 2. The prevalence of diabetes mellitus type 2 has increased at epidemic rates among children over the last several years. Only a few decades ago, such a disease was rarely observed in children, but unfortunately today it's very common among children in North America. The main causal factors for these changes in the health status of our children seem to be lack of physical activity and children eating a diet rich in carbohydrates, typically found in excessive amounts in junk foods. I recommend to all parents that I see at my office to watch the video Run, Jump, Learn: How Exercise Can Transform Our Schools by Dr. John Ratey. I included the link for this amazing video in the video description. This video will help parents learn more about the benefits of daily physical activity. I typically also recommend to parents of the children I see at my office to read the book Spark, the Revolutionary New Science of Exercise and the Brain. There's also one amazing story that I like to share with parents. It's the story How Iceland Got Teens to Say No to Drugs. I also included a link for this story in the video description. Iceland used to have very serious problems with their teenagers using alcohol, smoking cigarettes, and using marijuana. As this article explains, in 1998, 42% of the 15 and 16-year-olds had been drunk in the previous month in Iceland, 17% have used marijuana, and 23% had smoked cigarettes every day. So all these percentages were very high. But almost 20 years later, in 2016, after Iceland implemented a program with strong focus on physical activity, the percentage of teenagers who had been drunk in the previous month dropped to 5%. So it plummeted from 42% to 5%. This decreased by 8-fold. And the percentage of teenagers who had ever used marijuana dropped from 17% to 7%. This decreased by 2.5 times. And the percentage of teenagers who were smoking cigarettes every day dropped from 23% to 3%, about 8 times less than. It appears that these dramatic improvements happened because the children were more physically active. I recommend to all the families I see at my office to read this article. Again, I included the link for the article about what happened in Iceland in the video description. Another question we have to address is, so how much physical activity do we need? Studies indicate that adults should exercise at least 30 minutes per day and children at least 60 minutes per day. To have the best effect on learning, the physical activity should immediately precede the learning activity. Therefore, exercising at school immediately before the academic activities would be ideal. Exercising at home before taking the school bus would be less effective, as the benefits from the physical activity wear off over time. Exercising after school, although still usually beneficial and still important due to social and health benefits, has smaller effects on learning that occurs at school. So, are regular physical education classes, the phys ed classes, enough for children to meet their daily needs for physical activity? Unfortunately, these classes help, but are usually not enough, not even if the physical education classes are in the morning. Some experiments from teachers indicate that regular physical education classes are not intense enough to reach the minimum intensity to be beneficial for the brain. You can learn more about this question at the book that I already mentioned, Spark, The Revolutionary New Science of Exercising the Brain. I also recommend reviewing the additional resources listed in the video description. Examples of activities that are likely to reach the minimal level exertion that children need are walking at fast pace or running, dancing, for example, while watching Go Noodle or playing Just Dance, swimming. Before engaging in physical activity, parents should take their child or teenager for an assessment with the child's family doctor or pediatrician to establish if the child should or not engage in certain forms of physical activity. I believe you'll find helpful to watch now the video Victoria's Story. In this video, you'll learn the story of a teenager who overcame very significant mental health problems with daily physical activity and the use of self-help books. I hope you found this video to be helpful. Do not forget to subscribe to continue receiving our videos. Please review also the video description for the terms of use of this video and for the list of resources to learn more. This video is not medical advice and is not a replacement for the advice provided by a physician. Thank you for watching.